The Battle of Culloden, fought on April 16, 1746, was a decisive and tragic confrontation that marked the end of the Jacobite Rising of 1745 and changed the course of Scottish history forever. It was the culmination of a campaign led by Charles Edward Stuart, popularly known as Bonnie Prince Charlie, whose goal was to restore the Stuart dynasty to the throne of Great Britain. The Stuarts, ousted during the Glorious Revolution of 1688, had spent decades trying to reclaim the crown. By the mid-18th century, their efforts gained new urgency, as Charles, the charismatic grandson of James II, sought to rally the Highland clans of Scotland in a dramatic bid to overthrow King George II and the Hanoverian monarchy. The rebellion began with surprising success. Landing in the Highlands in 1745, Charles quickly gathered an army of devoted Highlanders. The Jacobite forces achieved stunning victories, including the Battle of Prestonpans, where they routed government troops with their ferocious Highland charge. Buoyed by this momentum, they marched southward, advancing as far as Derby in England, just 125 miles from London. However, the hoped-for support from English Jacobites and French allies never materialized. Facing superior government forces and logistical challenges, Charles reluctantly ordered a retreat back to Scotland, a decision that eroded morale among his followers. The government forces, led by William Augustus, Duke of Cumberland, son of King George II, pursued the Jacobites relentlessly, ensuring they had little time to regroup. By the spring of 1746, the Jacobites were cornered near Inverness. Plagued by exhaustion, hunger, and internal divisions, they faced the government's well-equipped army on Culloden Moor, a stretch of flat, boggy terrain. This ground was a disastrous choice for the Jacobites, whose traditional fighting style depended on rapid, close-quarters charges that were far more effective in rugged or uneven landscapes. The government army, in contrast, was a modern, professional force of around 8,000 men, including infantry, cavalry, and artillery, all well-fed and disciplined. The Jacobite army, numbering 5,000 to 6,000 men, was not only outnumbered but also physically weakened after a failed night march intended to ambush Cumberland's forces. Many of Charles's men had not eaten for days and were in no condition to fight. When the battle began, the difference in preparation and strategy was immediately apparent. Cumberland's artillery opened fire, pounding the Jacobite lines with deadly accuracy. The Jacobites endured the bombardment for as long as they could before Charles gave the order to charge. The Highlanders, wielding broadswords, tarred shields, and an indomitable spirit, surged forward in a last desperate attempt to break the government lines. However, the open terrain worked against them. Cumberland's troops, armed with muskets and bayonets, unleashed a withering volley of fire. They had been trained to target the unshielded sides of their attackers, and this tactic proved devastating. As the Jacobites closed the distance, they were met with grapeshot and disciplined bayonet thrusts. The Highland charge, once feared across Europe, faltered and collapsed under the relentless government firepower. Within an hour, the Jacobite army was effectively annihilated. Casualties on the Jacobite side were staggering, with between 1,500 and 2,000 killed, while the government forces lost only about 50 men. Bonnie Prince Charlie, who had watched the battle from a safe distance, fled the field, eventually escaping to the continent. His flight marked the end of the Stuart dream of reclaiming the British throne. The aftermath of Culloden was marked by brutal repression. Cumberland earned the infamous nickname, Butcher Cumberland, for his merciless treatment of the Highlanders. Wounded Jacobites were executed where they lay, prisoners were either hanged or transported to colonies, and entire Highland communities faced brutal reprisals. The British government enacted harsh measures to dismantle the clan system, banning traditional Highland dress, weapons, and even the speaking of Gaelic in an effort to erase Highland culture. The battle's legacy extended far beyond the battlefield, accelerating the social and economic changes that would lead to the Highland clearances and a wave of emigration. Today, Culloden stands as a somber reminder of this violent chapter in Scottish history. The battlefield has been preserved as a site of historical importance, with a visitor centre that honours the memory of those who fought and died there. For many, it symbolizes the resilience of the Scottish spirit and the enduring complexities of Scotland's relationship with the rest of Britain. The battle's legacy continues to resonate, not just as a tale of defeat, but as a poignant reflection on identity, loyalty, and the price of ambition.